This is one of the stories I didn't want to do, but I feel like it's important to talk about for a few different reasons. Now, I like Andrew Gillum. For those you don't know who Andrew Gillum is, he's the former mayor of Tallahassee, Florida. And he was also the Democrat nominee for governor of Florida in 2018, and he came very close to winning. And a lot of people was disappointed, including myself, that he didn't win. It was a very frustrating night, especially considering who he lost to. But that's a different story for a different time. He currently a CNN commentator, and by the time you see this, it might be a former CNN commentator. I don't foresee him keeping that job for very long, but you never know. But I'm expecting an announcement soon from CNN. Now, what happened? How? Why would I say this? Because Andrew Gillum have a very bright future. People was talking about maybe even VP, if not VP, maybe a cabinet position. So what happened? So the police was called to a Miami Beach hotel because a man was overdosing. Now, the person that was overdosing wasn't Andrew Gillum, but when police arrived, Andrew Gillum was inebriated. He was drunk, so he couldn't really fully express himself. But the other guy he was with was overdosing, and according to police reports, there were a few bags of meth on the scene. Not good. Not good at all. So when this report came out, Andrew Gillum had released a statement, and it's always a bad statement when you have to say something like, "Let me be clear, I never took methamphetamines." That's a bad, bad statement to have to put out. You don't ever want to have to release a statement to say something like that. Number one, and it gets worse. I'm going to say allegedly because the story is still developing, but allegedly, there's been photos and put out of the person he was with. Allegedly that he might be a male escort. Not a good look. Um, it looking like that might be the case, but I'm not going to say with 100% certainty, just because I don't want to do that. But if this wasn't the case, I would think that Andrew Gillum would have put out a statement by now saying that was absolutely false. But not a good look to have your name associated with something like this, especially considering the fact that Andrew Gillum is married with three children. And I'm one of those people that generally don't care about a politician's personal life as long as they agree with the policies I support, as long as what you do in your personal life is not harming anybody else. Um, Especially if you're not a hypocrite and not a family values type of politician. But I can't lie, this is bad. This is bad for a few different reasons. It shows poor judgment. Number one, you know, um, this might be a little bit controversial, but it is what it is. Let me start off by saying I don't have a problem with anybody being gay. What you do in your personal life, who you choose to be with, that's your business. That's nobody else's business. So be it. But for men that's, on the down low, I always did have a problem with that. You know, that was never right to me, even though I understand it because back in the day, being gay was really looked down on. And to a certain extent, it still is today. And I understand it. I don't want to make it seem like everybody is accepting of gay people now, because that's not the case, but a lot more accepted right now in 2020. You know, is very acceptable right now, I think. So if you gay, you gay. No problem. But it's very selfish for you to like men and be married, if your wife or if your girlfriend don't know about it. Now, if she knows and cool with it, so be it, because you never know. A lot of people have different arrangements with who they with and ways they deal with their marriage, and that's not my business. So that's not what I get into. That's up to those two adults to decide how it is they want their relationships to work. That's not up to me to decide. But if his wife knew about this, allegedly, him liking men, no problem. That's their relationship. I won't even have a problem with it. It still show bad judgment though to be with an escort, especially a meth head escort, allegedly. You know that still would show bad judgment. So you still wouldn't be off the hook. But if your wife didn't know about this, that is really selfish for a few different reasons. You putting her health at risk. You know, um, I don't know how people are gonna feel about it, but it's truth. I talk to a lot of women, and most of them tell me that they wouldn't want a man that is bisexual or that dealing with other men just for health reasons. You know, and again, if she chooses to accept that, that's fine. But you know, a lot of women feel like that, put their health in jeopardy, and I can't argue with that at all. So if your wife didn't know about this, that's really messed up. And besides that, I mean, there's emergencies being set all over the place, national emergencies for coronavirus. Now, I don't think you just go outside and gonna get coronavirus. Some people acting like that, but you need to be careful right now. First of all, you go into a hotel. It's probably not the best time in the world to be going to a hotel. Um, you go into a hotel, and then on top of that, you allegedly with a male escort. Man, how many risks you gonna take? And then you're not even thinking about your family. You're not thinking about your family at all. You don't know what you bring back to your wife. You don't know with this corona out there. Are you putting your children at risk? I mean, just a terrible decision overall. That's why this is a little bit different. Like I said, I usually don't care with what politicians do in their personal lives as long as they're consistent with policy. But no, this is a little bit different. You being too reckless. You know, um, just a bad look overall. And I was going to say, I hope this isn't true, but just looking at everything out there, it looks pretty bad right now. It definitely does. And I just want to end it with this. This is why you never put faith in an individual politician. Always stay consistent with policies and your policy goals. Never look at these people like, oh my God, they perfect, they like the next coming. Shouldn't look at it like that. Be consistent with policy. That way, if a politician messes up or they end up not being who you thought they were, you still have your core principles of policy, and that doesn't affect you. You can keep up with the movement. The way movements dies and when you put all your faith in a politician. So that should be a lesson, and hopefully people take that lesson out of it. Now, I'm not going to go. A lot of people going to go ahead and clown Andrew Gillum. I'm not going to do that. That's not really what I do. And to me, it's a sad situation. I feel bad for his wife. I feel bad for his children. And, it's just a bad situation. I wish him the best of luck in the future, but you messed up, bruh. You know, you messed up. And it's not too much more I can say about that. Share the video, subscribe, click that notification bell. Definitely trying to grow the channel. We got some interesting projects coming up for y'all. I'm working hard for y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.